Alrighty, what is quacking, everybody? This is Yump Quacks, where I talk about games and stuff because I like games and stuff. So, um, 2D Mario. Uh, they didn't show anything on the Direct the other day. I'm recording this a couple days after the Direct. All they showed was Mario and Luigi game, whatever. I'm a little late on this. I'd say by about a year, but I was like honestly thinking about it, and especially with the new console around the corner, it's kind of like what are they going to do for the future of 2D Mario, since 2D Mario is technically bigger than 3D Mario. But basically, what is the future of 2D Mario going to look like? For the longest time, I thought it was going to be Mario Maker. 2D Mario was doing well for a while, but then they released Mario Maker. Um, and Mario Maker was such a massive hit. It did not sell crazy like the mainline game titles, but it definitely gave Nintendo a way to just be like, here you go. We don't know what to do with it anymore. We can do 3D, but 2D, here you go, community. Make your own levels, do whatever you want, figure it out yourself. So it's definitely been like a weird future because like we all thought we were just gonna have Mario Maker, and then we got Mario Wonder, which was kind of a shock to a lot of people, honestly. Like seeing Mario Maker was kind of crazy. We're just like, oh damn, like we're actually getting a real 2D Mario, not just well, here's Mario Maker 3, guys. So we were consistently getting like 2D Mario regularly for the longest time, especially around 2006 when we were getting the new Super Mario games on the DS. So we got new Super Mario on the DS. Then we also got the new Super Mario Bros. Wii, and in 2009. And then on the 3DS we got new Super Mario Bros. 2. And then on the Wii U we got a new Super Mario Bros. U, which I think this is kind of where the downfall, not the downfall, but I would say the repetitiveness and staleness of 2D Mario platformers was starting to kick in. Because before you had Mario on the NES, that was revolutionary, that was insane, crazy for the time in the 80s. And then we had then we also had Mario 3 after that, which was like insane. Like Mario 3 was just such a step up, especially on the NES. Like Mario 3 pushed the NES to something that like definitely pushed that system to its limits. There's no way it did not for the time. Like Mario 3 was like so creative. We thought we were gonna be like, oh well, here's Mario 1, same graphics. No, the graphics are different. The game looks amazing. The abilities, the things you can do in the game, like it's insane. Mario 3 was insane. And then like we could talk about like the lost levels, but like that was Japan only, and it was just Mario 1 but harder. And then we could talk about Mario 2 as well, which technically was, different, but it was just a copy of another Japanese game. I forgot what the game is called. But still, if you look at it from like a standpoint, like that game was still like revolutionary in itself. We got to play with Peach, Luigi, and Toad and just do like weird things. We got our first different boss that wasn't Bowser, and the giant frog guy. I forgot what his name is. But we had that. And then Mario 3 was like a huge step up. And then we get to the Super Nintendo. And then Super Mario World was just insane. That was revolutionary for Mario right there. That was just like such a change. And it would look nice. It felt smooth like butter. And it was amazing. Still one of like the all-time like best games ever. Like Super Mario World. Just like I love playing that game. It's just so nice. I like going through the Star Road, just see how fast I can beat it, just like an any percent type deal, just casually, nothing crazy. I don't do like the cloud glitch or whatever, where you just like get the cloud and just keep hitting Bowser on the thing, on his clown cart. But like Super Mario World was insane, and it was nice. And then we go to the 64, where after the 64 was, or during the 64, it was 3D Mario. But if we're looking at 2D Mario, though, it just got relegated to the Game Boy for the most part. We got Super Mario Land, and then we got Super Mario Land 2, which Super Mario Land 2 shook up the formula a lot with like these individual worlds, and the worlds were just so unique. The power-ups were just so unique. and it was really fun to play as Bunny Mario, and Wario's Castle was like kind of a challenge. Like that thing was like kind of hard too. So 2D Mario was just relegated to handhelds for a little bit, and eventually we got 2D Mario back on home consoles for the Wii in 2009. But for the most part, like 2D Mario was great, and New Super Mario did feel like a breath of fresh air for the series as well. But that's when it started getting samey. Like the first New Super Mario's was like crazy. I love playing New Super Mario on the DS. It was insane. On the Wii, I enjoyed playing that with my family, played with my dad and brother, going through the games, the new power-ups. It was really fun. It was fun to play it. Sometimes you'd accidentally, you can pick up the people you're playing with, and I'd actually like pick up my dad or brother, and they'd get mad at me because I'm just trying to like run, but instead I pick them up. So they'd be like, stop picking me up, and then I'd throw them. And I'm just like, oh, like I'd panic and be like, oh shit, sorry. And I throw them off the map. And they're like, how'd you throw me off the map? So that was always very fun. It's definitely like fun to play with friends and family and those type of games, which was very fun and nice. The Wii was nice. But then once we got to Super Mario 2 was on the 3DS, was kind of like, it was meh. I didn't really feel inclined to play it because it just kind of felt like, why would I play this game when I could play the Wii version, which felt very superior at the time. I liked how it felt over the DS version that came out in 2006, and it definitely still felt better to me, in my opinion, than the 3DS version, so I'd still play the Wii version. But you could tell there was also like wasn't too much innovation really between these games. These games always felt very samey. And especially when you get to New Super Mario Bros. U, where all they did was really add Nabbit, and you could like kind of help people with the blocks. And we had the like squirrel suit, but like it really wasn't it. I remember playing Super Mario Bros. U with like my family, and it was just kind of like, it was all right. Like you could tell it was just like, why did we buy this game? We have it on the Wii. Like if we wanted to play it, we just play the Wii version. And like the worlds were also always very generic. The world layouts were all the same. This is kind of where like the world formula comes into play, because if you look at New Super Mario on the SNES, like the game just blended together. It was just like you had, the start of the island, whatever you go up, it's still like the plains and stuff, and just like the terrain's different depending on how you're moving through the map and stuff like that. Like wherever like the like area was, the level start dot was, like you could expect like the terrain to like kind of be different. Like in the early, and like I think it's like the second level, if you just go right and just go straight for the castle instead of going to the yellow block, the dots like kind of like on these like ledges, and you expected to get like ledges, which was really nice. But the world blends together, and it was nice. It was very smooth transitioning through things compared to the new Super Mario Bros. Games, where it's like the first world's plains and the second world's deserts. Like that's the same. It's the same through all of them. Like, plains, desert, and then it mixes up the theme orders. You still got your beach world, your cloud world. You always have Bowser's world. You have like a poison forest world-ish. So it became very formulaic, and it was like, all right, like it's kind of like you're just playing the same game over and over again. And that's when it definitely did start to feel stale with New Super Mario Bros. 2 on the 3DS and then New Super Mario Bros. Wii U. And I think Nintendo definitely did recognize that Mario was definitely getting stale for the community. A lot of people definitely were still feeling kind of like, the Mario, like 2D Marios really aren't hitting, like we want something fresh. And it's not that these games weren't selling well. Like, Nintendo was definitely raking in money. On the Wii U, it sold 23 million copies. Like, that is insane. I don't really remember if there was like Wii U bundles with the game, but it's just like it sold 23 million copies, and the Wii U just it was Nintendo's weakest selling system ever. So it's just like 23 million copies is still insane for their weakest selling system. And the Wii version sold 30 million, but to be fair, the Wii version was like, the Wii was like peak. It almost beat the PS2 and the best selling console of all time. Along with the DS, like Nintendo was right there. Like, the Wii and DS were like right there. They were like, no, we're gonna kick Sony's ass, which unfortunately they did not, sadly. But it is a product of the time. The Wii was still amazing for household and family. So that allowed Mario to just sell really well because people had Wii's and, Mario was just great. So all the, Mario fans were like, oh, I'm gonna buy, Mario Wii. Um, on the 3DS, the Super Mario Bros. 2 sold 13 million copies, which, is probably good for a 3DS game. And, the first one did sell 30 million on the DS. So, take that. Like, to be fair, the 3DS was more like Pokemon, in my opinion. And what I mean by that, like, is the 3DS was like the thing keeping Nintendo alive. But like playing a platformer like Mario on such a small handheld, I think I've already said it earlier, but it's just like I would rather play on the Wii version. The small, tiny handheldness was just not the greatest feeling, and I just definitely like the feel of a controller in my hand and Mario on the big screen. So it's not really too surprising that Mario 2 didn't sell as well as the one on the DS, and especially the Wii. And the Wii U version, like, it sold 10 million less than the Wii U version. But, like, again, these games sold amazing. These were able to still print Nintendo money when Nintendo was kind of at the beginning with the DS and Wii, it was at a very high, but at a very low, they were still able to bring in money for Nintendo. But definitely, I feel like Nintendo, they like to innovate. They like to, keep things, fresh and going. And because the Mario, the 2D Mario style was getting very stale and was kind of like the same thing over and over again, I think Nintendo had integrity with it and was like, look, we don't want to tarnish our mascot. We're not going to tarnish our mascot. And they just focused on like 3D Mario, because 3D Mario was doing great. Super Mario for the N64, all-time classic. Amazing game. Mario Sunshine, while it may be the weakest 3D Mario, it's still very fun and refreshing for 3D Mario. Using FLUDD, even though sometimes it can be janky, it's still a unique mechanic. And then you had Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 that were amazing. Granted, 3D Marios did not sell as well. They were selling millions, but they weren't hitting like the millions that the 2Ds were, but they were still hitting millions, and people were talking about these games with praise. And I think Nintendo values the praise and how people enjoy their games compared to the money, which is good, even though Nintendo does do shady shit like shut down, Vim's Lair, stuff like that. But like overall, I think like it's good that Nintendo shows some integrity for their IPs. We're like, no, we're not gonna milk our IP. We're not gonna be like Call of Duty. We're like, here's a 2D Mario every year, guys. Buy Mario, buy Mario, buy Mario. It's like, no, we get a 2D Mario when they feel like they have something to make 2D Mario pop. And that's when Mario Maker just came in. I feel like that's when they were like, we don't got it. Let's let the community get it. And that's what they did. They made Super Mario Maker 1 on the Wii U, and it sold like 7-8 million or whatever on the Wii U, and it just fostered such a good community. I wasn't super into Mario Maker that much because, to be fair, like some people make some banger levels, other people just made hot piles of garbage, but it'd be like that. Like, not everybody can be creative, unfortunately, so they'll just make hot piles of garbage and be like, yeah, here's your hot garbage level with like 10 chain chomps. Good luck. By the way, I put a backdoor because I couldn't officially beat this level. So they had, they made Mario Maker, and then that allowed them to just focus on 3D Mario games. And then we got the banger Mario Odyssey, which Mario Odyssey is like the new precedent for 3D platformers. Like Mario Odyssey is just so good. It's so great. It's such a good game. But, you had that now. So you had your 2D Mario fans pleased, and then you had your 3D Mario fans just absolutely ecstatic for what they could do with Mario. And it definitely did put Mario in a really great spot where it was just like, people were just so hyped for the 3D version, but hey, you want some cool, wacky 2D stuff? We'll go play Mario Maker. And then, recently with the Wii U shutdown, Mario Maker 1 was shut down, the servers were shut down and everything. So we still have Mario Maker 2, but we were waiting around. We're like, are they going to make a Mario Maker 3, which, to be fair, they don't need to. Are they going to update? I know they stopped support or whatever. They like announced support. There was like a final update for Mario Maker. So it was just kind of like, are they going to make a Mario Maker 3? But then, 11 years since Mario U. I also know they ported Mario U over to the Switch as well. they hit us with Mario Wonder last year. Last year we got Mario Wonder, and like that shook what I thought they were gonna do for Mario. Because like logistically, I'm thinking if they just let the community keep doing 2D Mario shit, and they like update like we get a Mario Maker 3, and maybe they're like, oh, we just only added an exclusive art style to Mario Maker 3 or whatever, or maybe they like found a way to be like Mario Maker, and we found a way you guys can do 3D levels too. You like that? Well, we're still working on a 3D Mario, but here's like a limited 3D function. Something like that. Something, crazy. Something like 3D World. They give us that. But no, they hit us with Mario Wonder. And Mario Wonder is so good. It's like Mario, but on crack. Like, it's so nice. The elephant power-up is so goofy. I love the elephant power-up. I just love swinging my trunk around. So good. You just like the different badges definitely adds a breath of fresh air about how you approach levels. Like some levels I'll be like, oh, I want the float. Like I like playing with the float badge, but then I'm just like, if the float badge isn't floating, I'm gonna swap to the hat. I got the giant hat. Or maybe I want to prioritize wall jumping. Now I can jump off walls. So it's great. So Mario Wonder just like hit us. And granted, the older, like the new Super Mario Bros. Formula was like, oh, we have 8 levels, eight worlds, but now there's like 6. But these 6 worlds are meaty. They're meaty. These levels are meaty. And sometimes you have to like really look for like the Wonder Seeds as well. So it's just like you got to go back. And it's not like the coins. Like the 3 coins were like kind of cool for the collectibles for the new Super Mario Bros. Games, but now it's just like now you gotta go look for like a Wonder Seed. So like it's so good, it's so nice. But now this left me wondering like, what's gonna happen with 2D Mario? What are we doing with 2D Mario? And I found an interview, an article talking about like the future of like 2D Mario and a Wonder. And basically they said they believe that they've transitioned from the new Super Mario Bros. Phase, and they have no idea what the next style is going to be like after Mario Wonders. Like, they've accepted they transitioned into a new phase, but they have no idea what the next game style is going to be. They don't know. Like, are they like they did Wonder and they're happy with Wonder. Wonder has, they've also said, and I quote, however, we do know that Super Mario Bros. Wonder has set a bigger stage for adventure for Mario and friends. So like that's they're like, we have this new stage we just made on Mario. We just did this whole thing with Mario, new adventure. They don't know what they're gonna do with it, but they did it. They slapped us with a good 2D Mario. So now it's just like, are we going to have 2 separate 2D Marios? Are we going to get Mario Maker 3 with the Mario Wonder style in it as well? And, more blocks? And are they going to bring us back the amiibo function from Super Mario Maker 1? Are, they just going to say, no, we don't need Mario Maker anymore. We got it now. We figured it out. We figured out our formula. And they're going to hit us with some more, 2D Mario. And maybe when it feels stale for the community, they'll be like, nah, here's a Mario Maker 3. Make your own games. We'll come back in another decade. We can, definitely speculate. And I definitely feel like I don't see a reason why we wouldn't get a Mario Maker 3. And I think, it's a good thing it is on the table for Nintendo, because they're just like, well, we just made this new thing. We don't know what's going to happen with it. We don't know what's going to come of it. But if we can't figure it out, well, Mario Maker 3 until we do. And also, 3D Mario is still just going to be like a banger. Like we can just assume 3D Mario is coming with the next Switch next year. So it's just going to be 3D Mario, and then 2D Mario is just, it's so weird. 2D Mario just feels so up in the air now. It was just like, oh, well, I was expecting a Mario Maker 3 for the new console. I still am. But now I'm just like, it feels less possible. Like, I was at like a 90% sure. Now I'm at like a 70% sure that we're going to get a Mario Maker 3 for the next console. But whatever Nintendo does, I am excited for it. I definitely love platforming Mario. It's so nice. It's so fluid. They always hit it every single time. They always nail it. And it's very nice to just play those games, you know, even casually, just like running through a couple levels every now and then. Just it feels great. Like it's like kind of like running in real life to a degree, but except like you get cool abilities. It's like I can't parkour to save my life. I'll probably hurt myself, but like it feels nice to parkour in the game because it's so fluid. But yeah, those are my thoughts. You know, I'm excited to see what happens, but it definitely is kind of like a thing. I know I'm a year late on this as well. I know it's definitely a year late, but also, you know, by the time this video goes up, there should be 4 other videos with it. Go watch those if you haven't. I'd appreciate it, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.